people for the virus today, but all 12 tested today came back negative for coronavirus. Early this morning, the governor announced the suspension of all non-critical GovGuam operations, and public and private schools were canceled. What we know right now is that on Sunday night, the governor announced 3 confirmed cases, 2 people who are related and with travel history to the Philippines arriving back on island on February 29th. The 3rd case is an individual with no travel history. All 3 are elderly and being quarantined at GMH. While public health conducts its investigation to trace their travel and contacts in the community, the governor has ordered the prohibition of social gatherings of 50 or more, which includes spiritual and recreational activities. For the private sector, businesses cannot fill more than half of their capacity. There is an exception, however, for stores that sell necessities. The Magahaga has also ordered that all visitors to Guam seeking entry and who have spent more than a week or more in an area affected by COVID-19 be subject to mandatory quarantine. She's also asking residents to practice social distancing and preventative measures like thorough hand washing. Close the borders and impose a 2-week complete quarantine. That's how the Guam Medical Association believes we can solve the coronavirus crisis. Our Nestor Lecanto spoke with GMA President Dr. Thomas Shea, who says there's still time to reverse any upward spread of the virus.
I'm talking about quarantine for the entire island so that we can prevent spread. And that's the whole thing, is that we want to prevent spread of this virus on island. But at the same time, you have an open gate. That gate is open through the airport, through some of the ports. And I think you got to close that gate. We can't just maintain what we have on island and manage the infected population. If we can manage the infected population for 2 weeks, and at the same time, we close that gate off. If we close that gate off, we prevent additional viruses from coming in. That'll give us some time to manage, recuperate, recover, and revamp our strategy, our pandemic strategy, because we never witnessed anything like this before.
The Medical Association has written to the governor about its plan and is awaiting her response. You can watch the full interview with Nestor and Dr. Shea immediately following our primetime broadcast or streaming now on our Facebook page. The Joint Information Center, meanwhile, advises that you call your healthcare provider if you are experiencing symptoms consistent with COVID-19. You can also call these numbers to speak with a registered nurse. That is 480-7859, 480-6760 through 480-7883. According to the JIC, testing for COVID-19 is only available for people who meet the testing criteria. For those who meet PUI criteria and without insurance, testing is available through a doctor's order and fees will be waived. Now, despite reports of panic buying, most people we talked to seem to be taking COVID-19 on Guam in stride, but most of them agree the virus is already spread on the island. Chris Barnett has more.
KUAM News spoke with Jordan and Vanji Delambarca while they were stocking up on medicines, canned goods, and yes, toilet paper at Hoffaday Market in Jigo. The married couple told us with 3 confirmed COVID-19 cases on Guam, they think the virus has already spread, especially since 2 of the positive cases came back to Guam by way of the Philippines on February 29th, 17 days ago.
You don't really find out right away when you get sick, right? So, you go wherever you go.
You never know that you already transmitted to the other person, that they spread already very quickly of the virus, so it's better to be safe.
Rose Williams braved long lines that cost you less to buy toilet paper, bottled water, and bread. She said she's stocking up now because she plans on not leaving her house and she wants to avoid other people. She gives GovGuam's COVID-19 response a thumbs up.
I think they're handling really well. Yeah, alerting people to stay at home and stay safe.
Meanwhile, Kathleen Kamir said she's worried about the spread of coronavirus. She plans on spending the next 2 weeks at home with her kids. Her message for the people of Guam:
I want to say take care everyone out there and pray.
Vincent Manglotnia was heading in to stock up on canned goods. He said it was a good idea for GovGuam to ban large gatherings, but he worries that more wasn't done to prevent the virus from coming to the island, especially since we have a large population of Manamco.
They're more easy to get sick because they're at that age, they're senior citizen already. And I'm probably one of them, so I don't know.
Meanwhile, the Delambarcas say they heard that the coronavirus cases may have been in their village, but GovGuam hasn't released any information about what villages the confirmed cases are from. With the virus already on our shores, Jared Delambarca told us he's not sure we have the infrastructure to handle a full-blown outbreak of COVID-19.
I'm not sure about the facility, if it's if we're ready, I don't think that everyone is ready for this situation.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Word that the coronavirus has breached our borders is stoking a lot of fear and anxiety. One local psychologist says while the public response is understandable, there are ways to manage it. Nestor Lecanto reports.
The first thing, says Guam Behavioral Center staff psychologist Dr. Mary Fagurger, is to take a deep breath and calm down.
We need to accept that this is a very anxiety-provoking temporary situation, and we need to acknowledge that ourselves and our family members and our children are having natural reactions to a not natural event.
Dr. Fagurger says there's nothing wrong about such a reaction within reason, and it can also be a positive.
Because anxiety is actually could be a little bit of a good thing. It's going to mobilize you to organize things in your home. It's going to encourage you to sit down with the children and talk about social distancing, talking about washing hands.
But it's also important for people not to be swayed by rumors or misinformation circulating on social media, which is driving their stress. There are some grounding techniques, she says, that you can use that were actually developed for veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder. She says, list 5 things you can see, 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste.
And when you do all of that, you're actually putting more blood flow to your brain. Your executive function, which is the front part of your brain, will kick in, and you will be more relaxed.
And finally, keep it in perspective. Fagurger cites typhoons as an example of how we've literally weathered such storms before, and we'll get through this one as well. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
With the growing threat of COVID-19 and Governor Lulian Guerrero declaring a public health emergency, Archbishop Michael Burns announced all Sunday and weekday public masses, as well as all other parish events, will be suspended in the Archdiocese of Agana, effective tomorrow until Saturday, April 18th. The Archbishop says this is an unprecedented threat of worldwide concern and we must work together to overcome it. He encourages everyone to watch and participate in the Mass through radio and via KUAM, as well as social media platforms such as Facebook Live. You can read Archbishop Burns' letter in its entirety on our website. The Judiciary of Guam closed their doors at noon due to COVID-19 on island. Chief Justice Philip Carbolito saying the closure is in line with the rest of the government and calls for non-essential employees to stay home. However, Carbolito states Guam law requires the court remain open for certain functions. These include civil and criminal case trials that are scheduled between now and April 17th to continue as planned. In addition, magistrate proceedings, preliminary hearings for detained juveniles, civil protection orders, TROs, and search warrant cases. All other court matters scheduled between tomorrow and the 30th are postponed. The Northern Court satellite in Dededo will remain closed also until further notice. Speaker Tina Munoz-Barnes postponed an emergency session that was requested by Vice Speaker Talina Nelson for this afternoon to discuss Bill 313, or the Unemployment Benefits Act of 2020. The legislation introduced by the Vice Speaker would create an unemployment benefits fund to provide Guam's workforce and working families financial assistance in the event of unprecedented unemployment in the wake of COVID-19. The bill proposes that during disasters or public emergencies, eligible claimants receive $750 to $1,500 per month. Speaker Barnes says calling session during a state of panic and uncertainty would be a disservice to our island, especially when members of the legislature are concerned for their health and safety and that of their families. Vice Speaker Nelson responds saying she is willing to take the risk.
We understand that our tourism has been on decline. Now we are regulating restaurants to have no more than 50% capacity. We see our small business being hurt by this, and really this bill was to create a path through this time so that people will be able to sustain themselves financially.
Speaker Barnes postponed the emergency session until March 23rd. The Republican minority, in the meantime, supports the postponement to honor the governor's 14-day self-quarantine and then assemble around a comprehensive bipartisan COVID-19 package. You can watch the Vice Speaker's interview in its entirety on our Facebook page. Speaker Barnes, in the meantime, requests to Congressman Michael San Nicolas asking that he include Guam in an increase in SNAP benefits relative to the COVID-19 public health emergency has been denied by the delegate. The speaker had asked San Nicolas to try and get Guam included in a section of H.R. 6201 that would give $100 million in funding availability for supplemental nutritional assistance program benefits to the U.S. territories, but Guam wasn't in that section. The delegate said the speaker's request was, quote, misguided and uninformed, adding a, quote, basic understanding of federal law and policy shows some territories are left out of federal assistance enabling laws, but that Guam and the U.S. Virgin Islands are already on par with the 50 states with SNAP funding levels. San Nicolas closed his letter saying the speaker should ask his office, quote, rather than assume what it is. And with confirmed cases of COVID-19 on Guam, we here at KUAM Communications are working to ensure that you and your family are informed. We're updating all of our social media and broadcast platforms with the latest from the Joint Information Center and ask that you share it. KUAM News will also be launching a new program containing COVID-19 on I-94 FM from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on weekdays. That's starting tomorrow. We will be live on the air and on Facebook Live for the next several weeks to take your phone calls, comments, and relay the very latest information. The number to call is 637-0094. Now more than ever, we need to remain calm and continue to follow the guidelines from the CDC to practice good hygiene. Although government offices and non-essential government functions are closed until further notice as a precaution with COVID-19, the governor did put pen to paper signing the emergency rules and regulations for the CNMI Cannabis Commission. Here's regional headlines from KSPN2 News.
Hafa Guam, here are the headlines for CNMI. Ink pressed to paper this morning up on Capitol Hill as Governor Torres has signed the emergency rules and regulations for the CNMI Cannabis Commission.
Today's a great day for all of us. It's one of those days of moving forward, and I really want to congratulate the board, executive director, for promulgating the rules and regulation. Received this March 10th, which made their 180 days from the regulation or the law that they need to promulgate rules and regulation.
The emergency regulations enables the commission to begin accepting applications for licenses immediately. And once the 120 days is up, the permanent set of rules and regulations will go into effect after review of public comment by the board.
The emergency regulations take into effect for 120 days, and then the regular regulations go through the normal process. And so I believe the comment period is for 30 days. Once that's done, then we go back and move it for publication into the register if we don't amend anything.
But one question many have in mind is,
everybody's asking what is the next process for our community or the business partners or whoever that wants to do. What are the kind of permits and when, where and when can it be available?
Okay, so we are currently working in the background for the applications themselves for the commercial licensees applications, because there are different types of applications. So depending on which application you apply for, that application package will be made available to you. Also with that, we're looking to secure an office. Okay. So that in conjunction with us working on a website.
The Cannabis Commission estimates around 30 days to have an office set up for those interested in obtaining a license.
Yes. So for everybody, within 30 days, there's going to be a license, an office where you can go and purchase or at least inquire and apply. Okay.
And, well, for the commercial, there's different licenses. So there's the wholesaling, there's the producer, micro producer, lounges, class 1 and 2, processor, retail. Yeah, and all of those will be available once our office is up and running.
And once businesses are open for shop with their license to sell cannabis, Governor feels it will be a boost to our economy.
What we're seeing today is we've never seen anything like it, right? So I hope that this it gives us the time to promulgate and make things ready, and when our tourism industries start to travel here, then that will be ready for them. Yes. So I look forward to it, and I'm very hopeful that with the interest that we have coming, and with the support of the board and the executive, I think that just definitely going to bring a new light into our economy.
For more news, visit saipantv.com. For KSPN2 News, I'm Ashley McDowell.
Thanks, Ashley. Stay tuned for more news right here on Primetime.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now. Attention Guam business owners. Green Energy Solutions would like to help you save on your power bill. We supply various LED lighting, energy-efficient air conditioners, solar thermal VRF systems, and solar panels. You can count on our product warranty and quick turnaround and immediate response service. GESI has saved other local businesses over 80% off their power. Call us to see how much we can save your business. Call us today at 647-8111 or visit gesiguam.com for more information.
Half the day, I'm in the club.
Half a day, welcome to Two Lovers Point.
Half a day, I'm in the club.
Nearly 2 full feet of pizza. 24 pieces. Wait, really? 24 pieces? That's a lot of pizza. 4 epic sauces. The Big Dipper, only from Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back. The latest from Brandon Acostas' trial. Defense counsel William Pohl requests all criminal sexual conduct charges be dismissed. Acosta is on trial for the 2018 rape and murder of teenager Tamika Nalta. During this morning's motion hearing, attorney Pohl argues that the prosecution has failed to establish the time of any sexual activity happening. Further, the defense argues that with the dismissal of CSE charges, then a variety of the attached aggravated murder charges will also be dismissed.
Normally, we tell the jury on or about, it doesn't matter, but in this case it does. If the government cannot show beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim was alive of any sexual activity, we dispute that there was sexual activity as the government states. We dispute that there was an assault. There's no evidence of force on this activity based upon the coroner's report.
The government opposes the motion and argues that Nalta was alive during the alleged assault. Assistant Attorney General Leonardo Rapadas told the court that through testimony on the assessment of Nalta's large back wound, it was proved that she was near death. The court is taking the matter under advisement. Tomas Titana pleads guilty to aggravated assault as a third-degree felony for striking Keith Castro with a metal baton. It was in July of last year that Castro was beaten and fatally shot. Titana entered a cooperation plea agreement this afternoon in Judge Vern Perez's courtroom. According to the agreement, Titana faces a maximum of 5 years in prison with all but 18 months suspended, credit for time served, and a fine of $5,000. In addition, he may have to testify in co-defendant Joshua Palacios' case. Palacios was charged with murder for pulling the trigger on Castro and is scheduled to go to trial at the end of this month. Titano also pled guilty to criminal mischief of a motor vehicle. Haven Gael French has been released from the Department of Youth Affairs and his case was dismissed without prejudice. French was arrested for assaulting a student at a bus stop. He was the only Teason High School student charged as an adult for his role in the incident. At his last court hearing, the government requested for the dismissal of the case and a Superior Court of Guam grand jury did not hand down an indictment. The Office of the Attorney General told KUAM they were unable to bring the case before the grand jury within the required time frame. Spokesperson Carlina Charfer says the government intends to prosecute the case. Approximately 253 tax refund checks totaling about $1.6 million will be mailed out this week. According to Department of Revenue and Taxation, checks include refunds garnished to repay government debts and error-free returns filed on or before September 20th, 2019. Guam's Republicans elected their party officers this weekend. Former Senator Tony Atta is the new chairperson. Kate Baltazar Dodge is the first vice chair. James Turbio is the second vice chair. Shelley Gibson is the secretary, and Evelyn Casil is the treasurer. The national committee man is Juan Carlos Benitez, and the national committee woman is Margaret Metcalf. The delegates for the GOP convention were also chosen. They are Atta, Benitez, Metcalf, former governors Eddie Calvo and Felix Camacho, former First Lady Joanne Camacho, Senator Tello Taitigui, and Senator Jim Moylan. The alternates are Tony Lamarena Jr., Benny Pinaula, Ray Gibson, Arthur Clark, Victor Cruz, and former Senator Martha Ruth. No official word yet on whether or not the Jotnya mayor special election is still on, but if ballots are cast on the 28th, measures are being taken to ensure safety of voters. Chris Barnett has more.
No official word yet on whether or not the Jotnya special election has been canceled. Guam Election Commission Executive Director Maria Pangilinan said district registration and precinct official training scheduled for this week has been put off. Pangilinan saying federal guidelines on COVID-19 had just been released, and in the event the special election is to be held, these protocols would be followed.
We were thinking of putting hand sanitizers at the entrance to the polling site. Other details too would be to disinfect all pens to be used in the voting booth. Disinfect the voting booth also every time after every voter has finished voting.
Pangilinan said a decision on the special vote will be made on or before the GEC's board meeting on Thursday. The special election would fill a vacancy created by the resignation of jailed former village mayor Jesse Blas. Blas pled guilty to one charge in federal court. He had been charged in connection with bribery and extortion relative to an alleged scheme to help drug traffickers mail ice to mailboxes at the Jotnya mayor's office. 7 candidates are vying for the vacant Jotnya mayor's seat. For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Pangilinan said one of the major factors in determining whether the vote will go on the March 28th election falls within the 2-week GovGuam shutdown ordered by the governor. Sports is next with Dave Delgado. Keep it here.
Make every day a plus.
Just wash it later, bro. Ask your mommy to do it for you since you still live at home.
Yeah. I don't even know how to do my own laundry.
It makes myself and it makes my team members very proud to work for an organization that has been on island for many years with its focus on reliability, dependability, and commitment to the communities that they operate in.
Matson's a great corporate citizen to the community.
We all benefit from any sort of environmental commitment we make. One of the ways that we do that is with our Adahi Utano program. There's action behind it, and so action breeds commitment.
With the Kaimana Hila coming to Guam, this brings a new age and modernization to the island.
It's exciting for me because it's a brand new ship and we can carry more freight into the islands. It just shows growth for Guam and Micronesia.
Matson would be nothing without its customers, and we hope to continue to serve you for decades to come.
It's a celebration at Cars Plus Guam. During our Jeep celebration event, receive up to $2,000 off on the all-new 2020 Jeep Gladiator, the most capable off-road mid-size pickup truck. Customize your Gladiator the way you want it. Call 477-7807 or visit our website and get pre-approved online at carsplusguam.com today.
Half Day, a lot of people are talking about the coronavirus or COVID-19. Many of you may be concerned or experiencing anxiety, but the best thing to do is to remain calm. Don't panic. Stay ahead of the spread.
According to the Centers for Disease Control, one of the best ways to prevent yourself from getting COVID-19 is simply practicing good hygiene. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds per session.
It's also important that you communicate that with your children too. If there's no soap or water, use hand sanitizer.
And I don't have to tell you this, but if your hands are dirty, don't touch your face. That's gross.
And remember, you don't have to go around wearing a mask all the time. That's only recommended if you're feeling sick or coughing.
And actually, if you are sick, you really should stay home. Don't go to school, don't go to work. Take the time you need to get better because you don't want anyone else to get sick. Hope this helps. From all of us at KUAM, stay ahead of the spread.
This message is brought to you by the KUAM Care Force.
Why pay full price? We'll help you save. Check out KUAM deals on KUAM.com/deals for the island's hottest promos, sales, discounts, and so much more. KUAM deals exclusively on KUAM.com. Find your deals today and let us help you save.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. I have some news on the IIAAG and ISA sports leagues suspending practices and play. I'll get to that in just a bit. But first off, championship rugby from Guam High School. Check it out. Notre Dame and GW, the final two teams standing in the GRFU ISA Rugby League Girls Varsity Tackle Division. The 2020 Championship Cup up for grabs. Royal Speedster Gia Camacho with the pitch to the outside outruns 4 GW defenders on her way into the try zone for 5 points. Geckos threatening to score after advancing the ball deep into ND's territory. Faith David running left gets the ball out to Lucia Atienza, who was able to reach over and get the ball over the try line for the score. 5-5 tie at halftime. Royals able to get the ball outside again to Camacho as she hits the sideline and goes in untouched for another try. Royals go up 10-5 after another unsuccessful kick after attempt. GW would even the score at 10 apiece behind another try from Lucia Atienza. GW's kick after was no good. The match went into overtime with the first team to score winning the game. No score after the second overtime. After the final whistle blew, neither team able to get in. Rules state that the team that first scored in regular time would be crowned champions. Notre Dame was the first team to score, so they walk away 2019-2020 Girls High School Rugby champions.
Definitely each other's defense. We both played really hard, which led to an overtime, and we were just all pretty tired towards the end because it was such a long game. It was longer than we expected, and we just wanted to push hard and bring the ship home.
Although we probably didn't have enough possession of the ball, we knew if our defense was on, we would soon get possession of the ball and we would keep the score at tied, and hopefully we would have tried to find our way to the try line.
FD and Sanchez took to the pitch next for the Boys Cup. Friars undefeated entering the game, coming off a huge shutout win over GW 58-0. The Sharks made their way to the finals after slipping past Ukadu 10-3. Friars' Joseph Green goes in for the first try of the game. Sanchez player John Sablon punches in a score right before the half to tie the game at 5. FD took over in the second half, scoring 3 unanswered tries to win the game, bringing the championship trophy back home 20-5. League MVP and Player of the Year award winner Jose San Nicolas scored twice in the second half to lead the Friars to victory. Teammate Eugene Ariola scored the other try for FD. Friars' Kian Artero was the league leading try scorer. Miguel Hernandez was the league leading point scorer for the Friars. The members of the IIAAG Board of Directors have decided to immediately suspend any and all interscholastic sports activities through Saturday, March 21st. This includes any team practices, tryouts, coaches' meetings, and competitions. Meanwhile, there will be a special meeting of the Board of Members and Board of Trustees on Tuesday, March 17th, to discuss and decide on what further course of action will be taken in response to the COVID-19 situation. While it is a disappointing action, the IIAAG's first and foremost priority is the safety and welfare of all our members and those who share in interscholastic activities. The GDOE and EASA League also released a statement. Superintendent John Fernandez stated, per the governor's directive, all practices, games, and meetings concerning the Interscholastic Sports Association are effectively shut down, no exception. More information to be released in the next few days. For now, as always, please practice all current guidelines to help protect yourself, your family, and to protect the spread of the virus.
Green Energy Solutions, Inc. would like to congratulate GU Self-Storage along with Calvo Enterprises in doing their part by going green with a monthly power reduction by over 80%. Power consumption before installation was 39,700 kilowatt hours. After installation ended in 6,221 kilowatt hours, which resulted in savings over $10,000 a month. GESI also offers LED lights, solar thermal VRF air conditioning, and solar photovoltaics. Visit our website and let us help you save.
Dear people who haven't had a Big Mac, it can feel like the whole world is out there enjoying them without you. You might wonder, is it too late for me? Look who's enjoying that special sauce on their special day. From firemen to crossing guards to, oh, this one's really rubbing it in. But even if you've never had McDonald's most McDonald's burger, today could be the day that changes. Now available in 3 sizes. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Join us in saluting those making strides and serving in our armed forces every Tuesday on the KUAM News Instagram account. These weekly posts round up profiles of Guamanians receiving accolades in the armed forces, those stationed on Guam making a difference in our community, and veterans being recognized for their service. Presented by Future Smiles Orthodontics. Build a brighter future with a brighter smile.
With confirmed cases of COVID-19 on Guam, we here at KUAM Communications are working to ensure that you and your family are informed. We are updating all of our social media and broadcast platforms with the latest information from the Joint Information Center, and we ask that you share it. We also have a dedicated section on KUAM.com and our mobile app where you can find everything you need to know about what's happening with the coronavirus. KUAM will also be launching a new program containing COVID-19 on I-94 FM from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on weekdays. We will be live on air and on Facebook Live for the next several weeks to take your phone calls, comments, and relay the very latest information. We will also continue our nightly newscast with prime time at 6 on KUAM, TV8, and streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. Now more than ever, we need to remain calm and continue to follow the guidelines from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to practice good hygiene, wash your hands for 20 seconds, use alcohol-based hand sanitizers, and stay home if you are sick. We are all in this together to contain COVID-19. From all of us at KUAM Communications, be safe, everyone. Welcome back. Before we close out the news, here is your latest round of birthday shoutouts from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Okay, everybody, let's get some positivity in this day. So let's say happy birthday to Misha Amaguis Alves. Happy birthday number 15 to the girl that makes us smile from your family here in Guam. Also, happy birthday to Tony May Kayea Uggan. We're so proud of everything you are and everything you're going to be. Happy birthday from Mom, Dad, and the entire family. And belated birthday wishes going out tonight to Jake Patrick Blast Santos, who was born on the 13th. Happy birthday to my nephew, Jake, who turned 16 today, coming from his uncle Jesse Chargloff and his mom, Marie Santos, and dad, Augustine Cruz, and brothers and sisters, and the family in Haga. Happy birthday to you. And on the 15th, happy birthday to Trisha and Rosalind. We love you always. Have a blessed birthday from your boys, Jaron, Noah, Hayden, Isaias, and Odin. Happy birthday, each and every one.
And you can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online at KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo your name and birthday. That is going to do it for us here on Primetime, but stay tuned. The news continues with Nestor Lecanto, who is interviewing the Guam Medical Association's president, Dr. Thomas Shea, after a meeting was held today and discussions got underway regarding how to contain COVID-19.